About 3 or 4 years ago, when my son was in the third grade, I was working, building a company with some other guys, and I was very, very busy. I was stressed out. I was distracted. Um, I was rather depleted when I was home, and at the same time, my son was in third grade, and he was getting C's and D's. He didn't like to read. He was having some behavior problems, and it was just a really, really tough moment in my life. I felt extremely guilty, and I just wanted to solve it. And I didn't know how. I knew I couldn't just quit my job. So I started working on a system with my son where we would identify a lot of like small micro actions and little reflections that we could take. And the idea being, what are, you learn anything by doing it in small bite-sized chunks and incrementally. So, whether that's school, chores, life skills, right? All of these things, you can break them down into smaller bite-sized chunks. And so I would do that, and I'd let my son Miles select, like from the library, of what little micro actions he'd want to take that day. And then he would earn points, and then he could get rewards for it. The big aha moment for me was after a couple weeks of this, I realized that I needed to do this too. And I needed to do it with him. I needed to participate. And it had to be more bottom up than top down. So I started asking Miles and my, at the time, 4-year-old, what does daddy need to work on? And they would give me feedback like, don't yell at us, or be on the computer less, play with us more. Basic stuff that really spoke to me and pained me, that they had this need that I wasn't fulfilling. And so I joined Miles, and we created actions for me. And then we created some that we did together. So one of them was, read together for 15 minutes. Previously, I would just go in my room and shut the door, read, come out, and then get upset with him that he didn't like to read. This time, we actually, when we would check in on this or see this action, we'd go in my bedroom, I'd read my book and he would read his. And, an amazing thing happened. He really took to it. He loved that time together, and he ended up developing a love of reading because he said he loved how I got lost in my book and he wanted that. So, he ended up getting straight A's that year. He read 5 books that summer and is a huge reader now. And I really feel like just that tiny little action turned the tide. So, naturally, when I solve a problem that I think others may benefit from, I set out on a journey to try to take this to more people. I think a lot of parents out there can feel that pain and can relate to things being so busy and hectic. And so I think simplifying the small actions that we can take and doing it as peers, but empowering young people to self-select and do these things, on their own, but also show our humility by being willing to do it with them and show them that we're working on ourselves. I think those things are really important, and that's really what was the catalyst of Blaze, and has motivated me and kept me resilient throughout this entire journey. And I'm excited that it's gotten this far. We've gotten it into a top high school to help kids in Chicago. And I hope that if my story resonates with you, you'll join us on this journey and try to impact both kids and adults that support those kids, because we're kind of all in this together, trying to build life skills, trying to work on ourselves, lift each other up. And, we can't do this on our own. So one small little action at a time, one little reflection at a time. And I think we all can grow and build momentum towards a better future. So I appreciate you listening. Thank you.